Alright, so in today's video, I'm going to go over what a lot of people point out in my kits. I've gone through my Possibles pouch, I've gone through a lot of different kits I carry, and when it comes to the kits that I carry, my puppy usually comes with, but a lot of people point out that I don't have a sewing kit. And so when I go through my Possibles pouch here, I have paracord. And then I also carry Gorilla Tape. This is 2-inch Gorilla Tape with a canvas needle. And now I always make sure that my canvas needle, the eye of the needle, is big enough for the inner strands of my 550 cord. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to use my needle and my paracord as my sewing kit. And so not only am I going to be using my needle and my paracord, I'm also going to be using my Gorilla Tape. And so I'm not going to be using my gear that I pack. I actually have a roll of standard duct tape, a little strand of the inner strands of some 550 cord, and a sail needle with the eye big enough to thread in the 550 cord. The easier the better. And so I'm going to thread this through. And again, it's gonna not work on camera because nothing works when you're doing it on camera. So there it is. I threaded it through. And again, this was from me messing everything around. This was flared at the end, and I still was able to get it in. It's easy to get it in. I'm going to tie a knot on this end, and now I have needle and thread. But something that I keep in mind that I don't see anybody else doing, I have an old work shirt here that has definitely given me my money's worth, and this here has a hole in it. Okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you if I got a hole in a shirt or any kind of material, whether it is my tent, my tarp, whatever. A lot of people would whip stitch this back together and then tape it, or they would just use tape on its own. And so I'm going to zoom this in so you can get a better look at the hole itself. And what I would do if I was in this situation is I would take my tape, I would put one piece on the inside, so I find my hole. I'm going to try to make it as flat as possible and put my tape on the inside, and then I would take and put tape on the outside. And a lot of people would call that good. They would just say, I use the tape, I plug the hole, and the tape will hold for a while. And that is true, but if you need that protection, if you need it to be waterproof, or you need it to keep the wind and everything out, there's a chance that this might fall off. There's a chance that this is going to be in some weather, and you're not going to want this to come off. So what I would do is I would sew the tape onto the hole. I would sew this together, and I would use the tape itself as a patch, right? And so I'm actually going to come from the inside out. I tied a knot on the end of my paracord so that when I push this through, when I pull it, that knot will keep it from coming all the way through. So the knot is stopping it from coming through, and then I'm able to just stitch this up, right? And so then I can come in and out as needed. You don't have to do a tight stitch because the tape will hold, but just having something loose that'll hold everything together will really help secure this in place. And then because it's 550 cord, the inner strand of 550 cord, you know that it's going to hold really well. Because of the tape, you have a really good patch that's going to seal really well. And then after I get done sewing this, I can just sew it around the whole patch. Then I can put duct tape on it again, and I can just keep replacing the duct tape that's going to clog all these holes in the stitching. And it's just a quick, easy way to patch. So if you have a real hole in your clothes or whatever, you can use your tape to clog that hole. You can stitch it up with the 550 cord, and you now have a really good patch. You have something that's watertight. The only thing you have to worry about is the stitching. And again, you can use tape to clog that stitching. And if that tape falls off, it's not as big of a deal as if the tape on the hole itself comes off. And so I'm just going to stitch this up, and yeah, I'll have a nice patch on my shirt. It's not going to look nice, but it is going to function. It's going to function long term. And so yeah, that's just something, that's a little trick that I thought of. I haven't seen it anywhere else. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have done this. I just haven't seen a video on it, so I figured I'd be the one to make a video. So with that being said, make sure to leave any knowledge or questions in that comment section. Do you think that this is a good alternative to carrying an actual sewing kit? Do you think that an actual repair sewing kit is a more effective than this method? And if it is, tell me why. Then make sure to subscribe and come join the pack. I have a new video every Sunday and Thursday, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.